Good morning, everyone. A literal Tuesday. Not only is it the day of Tyr, or his, if I'm not mistaken, Anglo-Saxon name, Tew, that's T-I-W, but also 2/22/22. We only get these every so often. Usually, maybe a lifetime or two. Or two. As a matter of fact, I will pull up my phone for just a moment, because here we go. We have the 2/22/22 portal today. And that was on the 20th. And with this portal on the 22nd, the whole month of February basically represents the powerful portal for our ascension. With Leo full moon, the severe weather conditions, and the solar winds, the energy is and was pretty powerful. More to come in 2 days. Today, of course, marks the last of the 2 days. 5 planetary conjunctions with the moon will occur this February, which makes February really powerful this year, as it is also a 22 year. The number 2 is associated with intuition, harmony, balance, love, union, relationships, and partnerships of all kinds, which will be the theme of the month. Open up to the energy coming in through the portal and receive. You have the opportunity to connect to your essence and clear what is blocking you to interact with others in a new earth kind of way. And I would like to personally thank Keely for posting that. Very, very powerful stuff indeed. So, of course, use the Moonstone on the tarot deck today. And as you can tell, we're using Ciro Marchetti's Tarot Grand Luxe today. One of my favorite decks. Got this one at the South Jersey Pagan Pride Festival. Never really gave this deck much of a look. Every time I saw it, I kept passing it up. And then I finally gave it a look and I was like, you know what, that actually looks like a deck I would really identify with. So, as you can tell, my relationship with this one has grown quite strong over this little period of time that I've been doing readings with it. I love this deck. It's a good deck. And Ciro Marchetti's artwork is beautiful. But let me tell you something. His other, there's another deck called the Easy Tarot, which is nice, and I would like to have that one. That one's a pretty decent looking deck. You know, not prohibitively expensive, but the rest of his decks, boy, his decks and his tarot mats are beautiful, but wow, are they expensive. Way out of my price range. There we go. Oh, by the way, if you're looking at the cars here, these are the cars that I have, or just a few. It's a small sampling of the cars that I've created for the game Gaslands Refueled, which will be played right on this table. I'm going to get the measurements. I'm going to have some play mats made, make some debris scatter, and then begin playing. This one is really not going to be a playable car. This is one that I created just as an experiment. I pulled apart a 1970 Ford Taurus, and that's one I learned a lot of lessons on. This is one that I recently created over the weekend. It is a Ford F-150 2014 model. It's got this really wicked ram on it. The only thing was I did not paint the back part of the ram. I didn't think that was going to be important. And, well, that was a little screwed up. I should probably paint all parts of the ram from here on out. This is what is this? A 1979 Chevy Nova. So, just to show you a few few of the little cards that I put together and put some bits on. I decided to display them. Hope you like them. And hopefully one of these days you and I might be able to play a little game. Maybe a death race. That is part of the game, by the way. Anyway. There we go. Alright, let's get down to this, shall we? I'm really running a little behind today. So, today, the Empress. One of the things we know about the Emperor's a hard ass. And the Emperor really likes his throne, but if you notice in the Rider-Waite Smith deck, his eyes are always shifting to the left and to the right. And beneath that really soft robe is that hard armor, that shell that protects him. There's an old saying, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I know we're talking about the Emperor, not the Empress, but he's doing everything he can to protect his seat of power. But we have the Empress. And the Empress is a much softer energy. The Empress is not the hard ass. She's the nurturer. She takes things. She cares for them. And she sees to their growth in a very loving and gentle way. She plants the seed, and then she feeds it, she waters it, and she watches it grow. And she makes sure it gets enough sunlight, and it, grows upward. That the sprout comes through the dirt, and pushes up and blooms into its glory. What does that say about us? My question is, are we blooming into our glory? And if we've already done that, are we helping others to do the same? So, what are we thinking here? Well, we've got an Ace of Cups, we've got a Three of Cups, and lo and behold, we have an Emperor. Okay, so let's start with this Ace of Cups. By now, you should have pushed past your fear. You should have come into your own power. You should have held on to it. You should be shining and not dimming your light for anyone else. And this is why. Because right now there are some new emotions for you to explore. And you should be exploring them. Because they are definitely something to celebrate. I want you to think of all that you've accomplished. For those of you who have been rocking with us since the beginning, if you've been taking the advice of these cards, sometimes, sometimes I've had my share of moments where I just could not deliver the message properly. I was kind of all over the place. But if you hung in there with me, you'll know the messages are they always have a running theme. Number one, the Matrix is on the glitch, the holodeck is on the fritz, and the illusion is crumbling. Those like us will be the ones that take over. And the reason I said this is not, ladies and gentlemen, this is not a cult. I am not a religious figure here. The person whose path you need to cut is your own. And if you've been doing that, then you may not take center stage, but you will play an integral role, even if it's something small, no matter what it is. If it's getting the information out there, if it's supplying help to someone else who may need it, the little bit of help that you supply may carry someone so much further than they ever thought they could go, all because you just kind of gave that gentle nudge in the right direction. And if you've been doing all that, you truly do have something to celebrate. because this Emperor here is about your own authority. See, with this particular Emperor, he's not exactly 100% a hard ass, he's just authoritative. He is certain of himself, and that's what you need to be. You need to be confident. Confidence in all things. And if you tuned into the High Notes video yesterday, you'll see the Moonology card I pulled for yesterday, and it did say confidence in all things. So when you speak upon a subject that you know you're right in, and you present that evidence, you should be speaking with authority. You should be putting that evidence, that solid evidence, in front of people, and then you back away and you leave it right there, and you don't push any further. Because when people see it, they'll have one of two reactions. Either they'll reject it out of hand and they'll walk, or they'll at least begin to examine it. And when they begin to examine it, some will still reject it and walk. But then you have that group that will look at it, they'll test it, they'll see that this is right, and they will begin to also do the same. Eventually, the ones that have rejected it out of hand or rejected it after seeing it, they're going to be in a really scant minority. Sort of like the people who thought the moon was made of green cheese. Anyway, we have 4 of Cups. Nope, that's a 9 of Cups. Never mind. My bad. We have the Fool. And we also have a Knight of Swords. Physically, we couldn't be doing any better. Oh, sure, we could, but we actually have a completion. And look how proud he is. He's drinking, man. He's doing really well. He's like, I have no complaints. And right now, that's where we should be physically. And if you're not, it's a good idea to get there. Take a little better care of yourself. Eat a little better. My tip on coming from this card, try to have at least one healthy meal a day. Even if it's just breakfast. If you have oatmeal with strawberries, a little bit of honey drizzled on that, yeah. Just one a day. You make just one little change in your physical world today. It'll make all the difference. One little change in your habits. Just one little change here, one little change there. If you have the luxury of doing it. Because right now the 9 of Cups symbolizes a completion. Whatever work it is you've been putting in, that physical labor, that mental and spiritual labor, it's done. And that's where it bleeds over right into the Fool. This is that new adventure that you're seeking. This could be a new game to play. Could literally or figuratively. Could be a new book to read where you're getting new information. And the Fool points very nicely at that Ace of Cups, because now you're kind of experiencing that emotion again. Kind of some you will experience again for the first time. Does that make sense? That connection you have with someone else. And that connection could be a total stranger, someone you just met, but you snapped. There it is, you clicked with them, and now everything is going really well for you. You see what I mean? And when everything's going well, you tend to ignore some dangers. You tend to be a little naive, and that's fine. But this is that sort of almost love like you've never been hurt kind of card, but it really doesn't focus on that. This is that new adventure that you are taking up with someone else right now. And this Knight of Swords is coming in very, very fast. Everything's going to be happening just at... Things are going to be getting hectic. It is important to draw upon people that you know, people that you care about, people that you are close to, that you can connect with. Connect with them today. They will be the ones that will help you. You're not... The Fool himself is not an island. Neither are you. Not today. Today you can... people will be drawing upon you as well. So you need to step in where you know you need to be. Again, that confidence, that authority, take it. Go for it. Spiritually, we have a Two of Wands. Oh, wow. We have Temperance. That's a good idea. And then we have this King of Cups. Let's go with this Two of Wands for a moment. Spiritual gates for you, ladies and gentlemen. You can just walk right through them. And right now, I could tell you, this is a partnership. Someone with whom you're connecting. Someone with whom you're still connected. On a literal Tuesday, we do have a card that did come up, a 2. That's important. Don't ignore that. The people, you can come up with very creative decisions very quickly. The people you could spitball and bounce ideas off of each other. Those are the people you need to concern yourself with today. Then we have Temperance. There is a happiness in a balance. Just remember, try not to go... Try not to drop cards today. Jesus, Wolfgar. Okay, so, try not to go overboard today. Try not to... there is a difference between coming on as authoritative and coming on too strong. I'm not going to lie, I have a tendency to come on pretty strong myself. I have to kind of, I'm a little more aware of it these days. I dial it back a bit. Remember, it's not so much on what's being said. It's about what's implied and what's not being said. You don't have to lay everything out on the table. You just got to plant seeds today. You plant those seeds, you leave them alone. If you're asked for more, then you go ahead and give a little more. If the seeds that are planted aren't really taking root just yet, well then you go and you ask for a little more information, right? Also, King of Cups. A lot of emotions going to be swirling around you. Now, here's the thing about this king. This king is still very sure of himself. Very much in his power and authority. But he's cool about it. He's calm. He almost appears unshakable. The thing is, you don't have to be unshakable. I mean, I can tell you there are days where I'm like, oh my goodness, will this person just shut up? Or if this person interrupts me one more time. I've had that a time or two. But on that surface, if you're just kind of cool, you're calm, you're not letting on that something's bothering you. And keep in mind, that's in moments where that kind of thing matters. Kind of going back to this Temperance card for a moment. This is almost about picking and choosing your battles a little bit. But there are times and places for everything. Times and places for those emotional expressions. And there are times and places where a lot of what you don't express makes all the difference. Now, I'm going to sum this up, and I'm going to incorporate what we were talking about yesterday. Remember, we talked about change yesterday, how, that change is going to start coming on very quickly now. Those things in your life, they're going to come on, and they're going to make themselves known. It's going to scare the hell out of you because it's happening so quickly. And it almost seems to happen all at once. But the key thing to remember is keep your cool. Stay in your authority. Don't be afraid of that new adventure. Understand that everything that happened yesterday is over and done. You've taken care of what you need to take care of yesterday. Whatever you couldn't get to, today is the day to take care of it. Most importantly, it's about taking care altogether, taking care of yourselves and each other. You don't have to be a total hard ass to be in your authority. You just gotta be that way. Especially if you come under fire today, and I can see that happening. You come under fire today, just remember, you sit on your solid throne of fact, and you don't let it get to you. Your opposition's going to get super frustrated today, let me tell you. I hope your opposition's not you. Today's a good day to be a little daring, to enjoy a little naivete. It's not going to hurt you. Just remember, temper that. Temper it all. When you start getting a little too excited, dial it back just a little bit. Start coming on too strong, just dial it back a little bit. If someone's coming on way too strong with you, just be calm. Be cool. In the words of Jules Winfield, we're all going to act like a bunch of little Fonzies today. And what's Fonzie? Correctamundo. So be cool. Look back on your accomplishments too. But don't neglect your failures. Because your failures should be your greatest teachers. Your failures should have contributed to your successes. Take a step through those gates, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great day for it. Thank you so much for joining me. It's always great to have you. It's always great to have a little fun with you. I'm going to be on high notes in just a few, once I get the final product baking down for you. And I'm going to use the same tarot deck here. Straight Tarot Tuesday. Just happened to fall on a Tuesday. Just remember, Take care of yourselves and each other. Always do what lights you up at every opportunity. And as always, my friends, shine on. Hello again. Okay, so I just want to make a quick post-credits video to let, or scene, whatever, to let you know that the offer still stands. HeathenSoulLord.net, description, link in the description below. Hit the site, read the articles, and let's get down with the offer. The offer is simple. If you purchase the book, that's a electronic version or softcover. You'll get 4 readings and a private and a birthday reading. Hardcover black and white gets you 5 readings and a birthday reading, and hardcover full color gets you readings for a year, including the birthday reading. If it's a little too rich for your blood, I understand that. I mean, that hardcover full color can go for like, nearly $90. I've got electronic and hardcover myself, but my hardcover's in black and white. If you can't do that though, go read the articles. They're very, very good. Also, if you still want readings for yourself or for someone else, be a subscriber and have one of your friends subscribe with you. And if they name you, or they name you as a reason for being there, each one of you gets a free reading. Or you toss me something off the Amazon wish list. And you get 2 readings and a birthday reading, just like always. And ladies and gentlemen, that can even be gear for RPGs. It could be books, it could be tarot cloths. But here's the thing, if you happen to get me another deck, I will use that deck in your reading. Might take me like a couple weeks or so to really get to know that deck, but I will absolutely use that deck in your reading. And of course, any readings I do for you, unless there's another deck of mine that you like a little more. That choice will always be yours. Unless I think the question needs a little something else. But anyway, just wanted to go ahead and run that down to you. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful day. And I'll see you on high notes. Take care.